I had a request from a viewer to show a particular oscilloscope that I have, and I don't think I've actually really shown it off before. I may have shown it in videos where I was repairing my IMSAI and stuff, because it does sit in my home office. It is a Sony Tektronix 336. So Sony and Tektronix built things together for a while. So this is a Tech 336. It's a analog/digital oscilloscope. We'll talk about that later. Here's a picture of my setup in my office where I do software programming and CAD work, PC board layout, all that kind of stuff. I have just a tiny, tiny little setup to do some electronics, and I don't have to come out to the garage. So here's the little stack of instruments in my office. There's 3 instruments, the 336 oscilloscopes on top. You can see it's not much bigger than the DVM underneath it. It's a Fluke 842, which is a great multimeter. And then I have a little triple power supply at the bottom, +5, ±12 or 15 or something like that. It's adjustable. I guess it does plus and minus up to +6 and ±20. Anyway, it's digital, and yeah, it's a nice little power supply. So I'm all kind of set. I can power things up, and I can measure them quickly. And then if I need to do anything heavy duty, I'll come out in the garage. But a lot of times, when I'm just developing software and stuff, it's nice to have something to be able to check with. Or when I'm just lazy, I'll just turn this stuff on. Anyway, let's take a look at the oscilloscope. Okay, so here is the oscilloscope. It is super tiny. It is 7.5 inches or 190 millimeters by 100 millimeters or 4 inches. Yeah, so very, very, very tiny. And it's about 14 inches long or 360 millimeters. It's about the size of a DVM. And one thing you'll notice from the front is that there's no BNCs. And so the BNCs are up here on the side. Channel 1, channel 2, external trigger, Z input, which is the modulation of the intensity, and charting XY. You can plot with this thing XY out. So it says it's a digital storage oscilloscope, but what that means is it's a full analog oscilloscope. Plus, it has a frame grabber card. So once you get the analog section working, you can push a button, and what it does is it digitizes the display, it puts that into memory, and then plays it back. So that's the way it does it. It's digital stuff. So it's kind of halfway between an analog scope and a digital scope. So, it is the only analog scope I own. All right, so we have a sine wave coming in. We have it in analog mode right now, so it's acting as an analog oscilloscope. You can see it there. It's gonna beat with the camera. Its refresh rate. But you'll see some funny things here. You'll see 50 millivolts and 0.2 milliseconds. So if I change the volts per, 0.1 volts per, 50 per, 20 per. So it actually, even though it's writing analog onto the screen, it also it knows what vertical resolution it has, and it's putting out here, it's 0.1 volts per division, and in the horizontally. So it's got a vector character set. So it's vector writing all the information on the screen, which is pretty cool. All right, so I've got intensity here. Let's see, let's not blow at our camera and focus. All right, so again, we have AC, DC, ground. So ground, you can set the position and then go back, which is great. Let's see, you can do variable vertical gain, so that's here, and it's giving you, it says it's greater than here or less than or whatever. It's telling you that you're not on cal. When you go onto the cal, there's a little detent, and it'll tell you that. And we have vertical 1, vertical channel 1, vertical mode. Let's see, non-storage. So if I hit the storage button and I turn off non-storage, now this is the storage this is the storage frame grabber being showed. So I can do something like single sweep. So let me, there, single sweep. So I've just done a single sweep and it's caught it, okay? If I'm in analog mode and I do single, you can't see, nothing happens. I have to go into storage mode and then it'll hold it. Now, you can actually do both of this at the same time. It's a bit tricky, but you can have storage and analog at the same time. So yeah, so here's storage. You still get to look at it, but you can't modify it, right? If I move it up and down, it's in frame grabber card. So if I change the position now, it doesn't do anything. If I change the PERS, it won't do anything because it's a frame grabber. It's just locked it in, okay? And so we have to go back out and figure out what the heck did I do. I just rolled it off the screen, and boy, did I screw it. Oh, I put it back on. I put it back on auto. There we go. I was on in single shot mode. Okay. Let's see. So what else does it have? Well, it has 2 channels. Okay, so you can go into the menu. So here's menu, and it's all in vector writing. Okay, so we'll zoom in a little bit. You go into menu, and it says vertical mode. Doesn't stay around very long, so you kind of have to know what you're going to be up to. You can set it to chop, dual trace. You can add them together, or you can view the trigger point. And then you can set it up to either trigger on channel 1 or channel 2. So yeah, there's some options there. And when you go into the menu, you see it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's buttons up here. You hit 1 through 5 or whatever to change that. So that's what that menu does. Kind of funky. Here's a main menu, which is I hit the on-off thing here. Storage, data out, scope, characters, for readout time. Anyway, you can set which things you want to be read out, which things you don't want to be read out and stuff. It's pretty strange. Let's see here. What else can we do? Let's get rid of that thing. Okay, so it's the true dual channel. You have here you have 1 time base. You have a delayed base. You pull this out, and then you can delay one, so you can see one is fast, one is slow. If I go into storage, this is not working right. So you can see that we have a slow time base and a fast time base, so you can set those 2 things up. So you have basically a delayed sweep type of thing. All right, and let's see here. How do we get out of that? I think what we want to do is we want to make them match. Pull for Alt. 10, 10, and I think we're looking at channel B now. Yeah, this is the B trace. So we have A and B both just being displayed now. Okay, let's see here. Memory, 10 times magnification, so you can zoom way in. Let's see, trigger mode, auto, norm, single, reset. Trigger source, you can trigger on channel 2, external divided by 10, or line triggering. You can AC couple, DC couple, high resolution, high frequency reject, low frequency reject, and TV sync. So it's all the typical oscilloscope stuff. Trigger on positive edges, trigger on negative edges, and then the delayed has its own separate positive and negative thing for delayed sweep and stuff. So yeah, there you go. Let's go back to vertical 1. We'll trigger on 1. And what else can I say? There's cursors that you can move back and forth. You want to measure things digitally once it's stored. Yeah, it's a pretty strange little instrument. I would say it's the greatest instrument, but it's a cute instrument, and it's very, very tiny. And so I just keep it around. When I got rid of my old digital one, I thought about moving it into the bedroom and getting rid of this one, but nope. This one's my favorite. I'd rather have this one in there. I don't need a super fast one, and sometimes it's nice to have an analog scope, so I wanted to keep this thing. So anyway, there you go. Sony Tektronix 336 digital storage oscilloscope, made in Japan by the Sony Corporation.